Welcome to Miami Lead, a podcast dedicated to equipping leaders to face today's challenges with courage, faith, and innovation. This series is designed for anyone wanting to grow as a leader. Each episode offers insights, strategies, and inspiration from some of Miami's most influential minds. Our goal is to help you lead with purpose, build meaningful connections, and have a lasting impact on your community. We're glad you're here, because everybody wins when a leader gets better. And now, Pastor Bill White.
Let's welcome our guest, Felipe.
Thank you.
And I likewise want to welcome all those joining us on the podcast today. Another episode of Miami Lead, where our baseline value is our belief that everybody wins when a leader gets better. And so, but not everybody accesses the leadership skills that are already available to them. And so today, I'm very excited to welcome Felipe Isaza.
That's it.
Who is the founder and president of Miami-based Function, S-H-U-N, Function.
Yes.
And specializing in IT services and cybersecurity and AI consulting. When I spoke with him earlier and we were first getting acquainted, he said, AI is my middle name. I think that's what you said. So, but I did notice on LinkedIn, what you said is, I help businesses future-proof their operations. I mean, this is the hot topic probably of the day.
Absolutely.
And so I can't wait for us to get into it. You came to us highly recommended from people that I respect and love very much.
Hopefully they're right.
Yeah, I'm hoping the same thing, Felipe. Actually, I have no fear about that. And we're glad to welcome a studio audience here. So if you're following us on podcast, I'd invite you to come and check this out live and in person. It's part of something that's unique about what we do. And the first thing that Felipe did when he walked in was gave me the book that he was partner in writing during COVID.
Co-author. And it's signed, by the way. I don't think you noticed.
Check it out. All right. Well, I can't wait to get into this.
Yeah, absolutely.
But especially today to welcome you to help us deal with something that seems to always be ever in every headline, every industry, every wave of culture is just riding AI in some way. And so I guess I'd like to ask you first, what sparked your interest in cybersecurity? Because that's also a big part of what you do, I get.
Yeah. So I'd like to start first. I founded Function in 2011. We are an IT, cyber, and AI company modernizing environments for small and medium-sized businesses nationwide. We have presence in South America as well. We're constantly bridging the gap between business strategy, cyber, and AI. We don't chase the AI hype. We approach it from a cyber mindset first. Most of our customers are required to adhere to compliance and regulation. So from HIPAA to FTC, PCI, and CMMC, which are for Department of Defense contractors. So we normally perform assessments, cyber and AI assessments, to be able to identify any risks, compromised passwords, data leakage, and business operations, how efficient they are, and just overall how AI is being used within the organization. Most of the time, we find that business owners don't know how their team members are using it.
Right. I'm not the owner here, but I don't know either.
You don't know either. But that's where we come in and create cyber and AI use policies to make sure that the business aligns with compliance or any regulations and maintain a secured environment. The last thing we want is for a customer to get breached. And something I talk about as well, a use case in the book as well.
Well, I'm thinking you said future-proof our operations. I mean, I was asked this week, and this is a faith-based, not-for-profit. I mean, we're a church. It's a volunteer organization. But we want to be sure that people's data is protected, that their privacy is safe, and whatever they share with us, we can try to say, we'll do the best we can to protect. And yet, you and I just visiting a moment ago said, well, nobody's really hack-proof.
Right. Yeah.
Want to talk about that as
We
a
always.
cybersecurity expert?
Oh yeah, yeah. Obviously, we never promise any customer we can protect them 100%, because the biggest risk in any environment is the human component. So that's something that's volatile in the organization. So what we do is implement layers to be able to further protect the organization. So one use case, I had a customer that clicked on an email. She had our full stack, full protection. Obviously, the owner. She clicked on the email, and she just kept going about her day. We got an alert saying, "Hey, a sign in from New York." I called her within a minute of it happening, and she's like, "No, that wasn't me." And she's like, "Oh, I knew it. I shouldn't have clicked on that." Um, but long story short, we basically changed the passcode because they had changed the passcode. They bypassed the MFA through token session hacking.
Whatever
And
that is. I mean,
and
I'm learning as I listen.
and so we basically, within a minute and a half, 2 minutes, we had her basically
Yeah.
safe. We checked for any forwarding rules, and she was safe. She's like,
Yeah.
she was so thankful for that. But back to that point is the layers that you have to implement to be able to detect this stuff
Well,
to begin with.
I almost apologize for starting with fear, but there's a lot of fear wrapped around this whole
There
technology and
is.
where is the economy going? Where is the fear seems to speak. But let's back up. Let me start on the positive side. What's the game changing opportunity that's before us? We got a lot of business leaders and educators and people who want to make a difference in others' lives.
Yeah.
What does this do to help people?
As a game changer, I think we're living in an era where we will witness the first one person company with $1 billion revenue. That's how powerful AI is for business owners to grow their organization. For example, we have tech companies now that are vibe coding apps within a couple months. They're turning around and selling it for millions, where something that took years and a team of developers to get investments and be able to sell that. That's just one use case. And if you're anything like my wife, you take a picture of our kids' math homework, upload it to ChatGPT, and because the schools now make you solve a math problem 6 different methods, it's pretty bizarre. I'm guilty of this too, but that's the point. But the risk as well, which as beneficial as AI is for everyone's personal and business, comes with a lot of risk, right? You have to be cognizant of what you're uploading into ChatGPT, especially if you have the free version. The ChatGPT trains on that if you're uploading sensitive data. So one thing that we do is basically, advise to upgrade your ChatGPT version to Teams, where it just doesn't train on that. It's just another
It's
layer.
a closed circuit or closed
Yeah,
system.
it's just another layer of security. It's not
Yeah.
that ChatGPT won't get compromised, which I think there was already an incident.
Yeah.
But it's just one additional layer.
Yeah.
I got a call 2 weeks ago from Coinbase, a crypto exchange platform, and saying that my account was compromised. And it kind of caught me off guard because I was with my son, helping him with his homework. We were at a restaurant. So I'm like, okay, let me open up my laptop. I checked, I didn't see any activity, but I hung up on the guy. But one of the key things is that it was a California number, and his English was perfect, like a perfect American spoken male, which kind of can throw some people off. So I hung up on the guy. I called back the number. It was a Google voice. But at that moment, just like it was very clear that it was an attempt to extort my crypto.
Yeah. Why don't we just chase that one a little bit more? How do you know it's not passing the sniff test? Like, is this real? Is this true? Is this fake? Am I being misled? What are some indicators that people might
I
keep
mean,
their eyes open for?
I'm always skeptical to begin with. I mean, that's my nature, and being in the field, I know what's capable and what's not. I think first, when getting a call like that is already kind of like a red flag. So I'll go look for clues. I have detection everywhere in my digital footprint. So that was an indication for me that it was fake. Now that Coinbase threat actor called me back, but I accepted the call because I wanted to hear how he's engaging, what he's saying, what he's not saying, just to kind of further learn more about how these new, because they're always getting creative.
Right.
So just to kind of learn more about how they're approaching these things, because AI voice cloning is a huge threat. And now if they're what's it called, cloning your phone number as well. For example, if you have Wells Fargo, you're able to authenticate with your voice now, which is mind blowing. I don't know why they do that, but if they spoof your number, you just increase your chances of your bank account getting compromised.
Yeah.
So a lot of AI threats to account for.
That might lead us to just say, well, then how do you think AI, including these things, is going to reshape leadership decision making in the next few years? Or, what do you see?
Yeah, there's a lot that I think that needs to change, and starting from the human component, phishing awareness campaigns. I think need to evolve so to better train the human platforms. At the end of the day, every organization will experience some level of breach. I'd like to see now how many of you have experienced some type of compromise. So that's just shows you that
Got
it's
several hands going up in the room here. So to
very,
our
very, very prevalent, and it's only going to get worse as AI continues to evolve. This week alone, Chinese hackers were compromising Anthropic, or using Anthropic to fully automate an attack A to Z. So that right there just changed the whole threat landscape
Right.
alone.
So it's probably it's a very real thing to start with fear and then talk
Yeah,
about defense
absolutely.
and talk about how do we out this and then how do we just stay aware. And
Awareness, for
but
sure.
as leaders who are responsible for people who want to build trust, because we've heard about traveling at the speed of trust,
Yeah.
then how do we guarantee that? You talked about some defense systems, I guess, that you can have built in.
Implementing layers to be able to detect. So I think starting
That's
off
what
with
you
like
said, detect.
starting off with like a disaster recovery, because ultimately, going back to my statement of every organization or company being hacked, it just depends on the level of hack that happens. The importance is how to recover from that.
Yeah.
So
Tell us about that.
we already know every organization is going to get hacked. So
Oh, there's good news. Let's say it together. Every organization is going to get hacked. Thank you.
so it's just a matter of when, not if.
Okay.
So what we normally do is basically we go in and we'll perform an assessment with these organizations to be able to expose the gaps and the risk. So and then once they do approve of us coming on board, the onboarding experience is implementing these layers to better protect the business. But too much cyber is productive retardant as well, because they could impact team members from producing and stuff like that. So that's the last thing we want to do. So that's why we do it in phases. We train, continue rolling out all the layers, so we properly protect the organization.
Okay, I got another question I want to ask you, but this one just came to mind. We also visited about the human piece of this.
Oh yeah.
Is is not going to be gobbled up by the artificial intelligence. That human intelligence is still going to have the edge depending on the training. I guess that's what you're talking about. Let's be sure that the human resource team is trained
Oh
so that
yeah.
all of our workers.
Yeah. I think so. It's not about one of the misconceptions is that AI will replace the human. I think that the human leveraging AI will replace the people that are not.
Okay, say that again so that we'll all hear it. Say it one more time.
So it's not about AI replacing humans. It's about humans leveraging AI that will replace the ones that
Humans
are
that
not.
don't.
Yeah. I mean, you're already starting to see it. For example, last week I interviewed an executive VA. So this VA, aside from performing tasks for the business owner, she would implement AI workflows and AI automations for the business owner to get real-time data of the logistics and his business overall. So, when have you ever heard of an sorry, not AI, an executive assistant implementing any type of automation or anything AI, period. So you're already starting to see the shift
Yeah.
in that space.
Yeah. You have helped, well, you've intervened in companies that did suffer some
Oh
extreme
yeah,
hack.
we have
I think you
stories.
got a story about that you could tell
Yeah,
us
one that
without disclosing.
yeah, no, I can't disclose that. But one I mentioned in the book, this customer, he's in the accounting, he's a CPA. I would perform assessments for them and just kind of make them aware of the risk and what the potentials, what could happen. So he would always push back, and he even went to the extent of saying, "Hey, just remove all my passwords. I don't want it. I don't want any obstacles." I'm like, "Listen, I'm not going to do that."
Yeah.
So one Saturday morning, he calls me. He's like, "Hey, I can't access the server." So I'm like, "Okay." I log in, and as soon as I log in, I see the screen and the files flickering. So at that moment, I knew he was ransomed. So I'm there trying to pull the plug on the server, on the workstations, just to kind of minimize the impact. So unfortunately, they attacked the backups as well, the disaster recovery, because they had
Protection.
minimal protection because he was always fighting it. However, so what we had to do is they eventually were ransomed, and the only thing we had to do is unfortunately try to negotiate the ransom. So I created a fake email so I can start communicating with this threat actor, and we negotiated down from like a $15,000 to $3,000. So and mind you, we don't know if we're gonna get the decryptor or anything like that. So we send the Bitcoin, we get the decryptor, we decrypt most of the files. It had some remnants of still because it's not perfect. But what surprises me the most is that the threat actor emailed me back following up to see if how was his service, if everything was decrypted as as the service suggested, and he proceeded to ask for a survey at the end of the email. But it makes sense. It's a billion-dollar industry, right? So they want to be able to make sure that they're providing the best type of service. And if they get a bad rep that they're not getting they're collecting money and paying the decryptor or not delivering the decryptor, then nobody will ever pay the ransom. So these are the stuff that
Yeah,
we
I'm
kind of
sitting
deal
here
with.
wondering, and so who has the screenplay that you're writing about your story that's going to show up on the next
I was like in bizarre world. I was like,
platform?
is this for real?
Yeah, it sounds like you're living a movie script.
Yeah, definitely.
So, well, in light of that, what are the most practical cybersecurity steps that an organization could take, not of that size perhaps, but some of our smaller businesses or medium sized here in Miami, we've got a lot of those.
Yeah,
What can we
absolutely.
do?
Yeah, I think starting off with a disaster recovery, again, what we do is something that we comply with cyber insurance policy as well, is the 3-2-1 backup method. So two backups in the cloud, one local, or any variation of that, basically. That way, if one gets compromised, you have two others to rely on. And I would say threat detection and response. Going back to my example of my customer where they logged in from New York, if it wasn't for that notification, we probably wouldn't have known if she was compromised. Hackers have nothing but time, and usually what we see is they're in there for 3 months prior to initiating any attack. They're just waiting for the right moment, an ACH transaction, and whatever it is, whatever attack they're trying to convey. And then after that, zero trust endpoint protection. This particular application blocks any threat actor that, if they are in the background lingering in your system already, it prevents them from executing any files. For us, at times it's something that it does block like updates and stuff like that. So it may create a little bit more work for us, but you know what? It saves us from a situation where now we have to resuscitate the business, incident response, etc. So it's a lot more worse. Yeah, if we don't do
Now
that.
you have a team that works with you in your
Yes.
in function.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess they're very change ready, or they're always looking for the next.
Yeah, they're all bots, so they don't sleep. No, I'm kidding. No, we do have humans working
Yeah.
around the globe. So we have AI engineers, cybersecurity experts, Microsoft techs. That so in every area of the business.
Many of our companies or businesses are creating opportunities for staff like that, or employees like that, or contracted workers like that. But for those of us who don't, or are on our way toward building it, and it feels like, man, there's always some new change. I'm always on the learning curve. I
Yeah.
can't ever catch up. So now I'd like for you to talk to us as a leader, two leaders, about change management. How do you help your employees or other people welcome change when, like you said, there was this guy who said, hey, I really just get rid of all the passwords. And you said, I'm not going to do that. Well, how do you help us as leaders deal with the human resistance factor, or equip our staff to be able to sniff it out or be prepared, or people like me
Yeah.
who just are always an old dog learning new tricks?
Yeah. I rely on the process a lot. So basically, our assessments does basically all the work for us. So we divulge basically every aspect of the business. So if I tell you, Pastor Bill, you have compromised passwords here, or you have this port open, which is pretty common for threat actors, then that instills, not that I want to sell in fear, but you're
Right.
at some level your concern levels go up.
Yeah.
So the assessment, and I do a very beautiful PowerPoint presentation, so it's digestible for business owners, because a lot of times too much technical, you don't digest that well. So I allow the assessments or the PowerPoint to do most of the talking for me.
Yeah. Well, I want to leave some time today for studio audience questions
Yeah,
as
of
well.
course.
But if you could leave Miami business and community leaders with one piece of advice for leading confidently in such a digital change era, what would it be?
I would say invest in people and process, build systems that scale. I think ultimately, whatever churn or volatility you have in the business, that process will remain or have some stability.
One final question, and we ask everybody who's ever a guest at Miami Lead, because we are a faith-based organization and
course.
we're sponsored out
Yeah.
of a church and for people who want to see values and the heart demonstrated in the marketplace. How do you see faith shaping the approach that the use of artificial intelligence could take? And then perhaps, how has your own faith influenced the way that you think or engage with AI?
Yeah, so my faith remains centered and grounded. I think it kind of aligns with our core values within the organization. One being customer obsessed. Our customers rely a lot on us to protect their data. And we take that very seriously, because it impacts not only the business owner, but their families and the employees and their families. So, that's kind of how we approach it.
The human factor. That's interesting to me,
Yes.
because when we talk about demonstrating faith, integrity, value, we're right back to what you said earlier, the human factor.
The human component.
Yeah, that we don't surrender that in order to engage or harness technology to take us forward.
Yeah.
So that's a comfort to me and an
Glad to hear.
affirmation to me. I want to thank those who have joined us on this podcast and remind you that you just need to subscribe so that you don't miss any of these. And look forward to being connected again. Would you join me as we say thank you to Felipe for his expertise in sharing with us today?
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Miami Lead. Colossians 3:23 says, "Do everything as for the Lord." No matter your position, God wants you to lead in a way that honors Him. If you enjoyed the conversation, remember to follow the channel and turn on the notifications so you never miss an episode. Like to be a part of our live audience for future recordings? Head over to miamilead.org to learn more and register. We'd love to see you there. Remember, everybody wins when a leader gets better.